Hi my friends, welcome to this video. In this tutorial I'm gonna show you how to make this image resizer. So we made an application. This is the application which you can select a photo, then you can resize it. Let's see how it works. I click here to select an image. This image, if you see, the size is 616 kilobyte and dimension is 2048 pixel. It is a very big image. Let's open it, and now I can change the width and height of this image. For example, I want to change the image into half, so half of 2048 is 124, and as you can see, automatically it says the height for me because this lock aspect ratio is on. If I turn it off, I can change the height of this image custom, like 500. There's another button, checkbox. If I click this one, it will reduce the quality to 15%, so the size will be smaller. Let's click on download image to get the result, and there we go, we have the image. Let's show it in folder, and this is my image, and now it is 36 kilobyte and the dimension is 1024 times 500. That is the dimension we set for this image. But if I open it, you see the width is changed because we turn off this lock aspect ratio. If I lock it, and now if I set it, for example, now I want to set it to 800, it automatically set the height for me. Click download image, and now there we go, the width and height is fixed and it doesn't change, and I have the smaller size of this image. This application is very useful if you want to convert the image size or reduce the quality. Sometimes, for example, if you want to upload the YouTube thumbnail, you have to change the width and height of a photo. You can do it by using this application very easily. So now you guys know how this application works. Now let's jump to the application folder and let's start making it. Okay, I'm in the project folder. Here I make a folder, I call it image resizer, and I open my visual code and drag drop this folder into it, and there we have our application. I make a file, I call it index.html. I write HTML and select HTML5 to create the basic HTML5 structure. I give it a title. I give it the title of image resizer. Let's save and run it with the live server. If you don't know what is live server, it's an extension inside the Visual Code which runs your code into the browser in real time, and you can see everything in real time. If you change a code here, you can watch it live on the browser. Okay, inside this HTML file, I'm going to create the structure of this application. So if you saw, the application have a container, and inside the container we have this browse file, and we have to create that one. And there is also a logo. First I'm going to paste this logo. This is just a logo, and this is my logo. Okay, let's start building it. First, inside this body tag, let me make this font a little bit bigger so you guys can see everything. Okay, first I'm going to create a div with the class of wrapper. Inside, everything will be inside this wrapper, our whole application. Inside this wrapper, I'm going to make another div. This will be the upload box. You want to create this one first. Okay, so everything will be inside it. The first thing I need is an input, and for sure this is the file because I want to select a file. I don't need any name or ID. All I need is to accept what I want to accept, only images. Okay, so I want to accept all type of images, and I want this one to be hidden. After that, I need an image, and the source will be my upload icon, this where it is, this upload icon, upload icon.svg, and the alt will be image. Okay, after that I wanna give it a text, a p tag, and I call it browse file to upload. Let's save it, and this is what we got. Okay, you shouldn't be worried about the design right now because we do that later on the CSS. After this one we make another div, and this will be the content. Okay, this is the content. Now we want to build this section. If I select an image, this inputs, radio, buttons, and those things will be show once we select the file. So let's create that one. For that we need to create a row inside our content, so I make a div with the class of row. Our row, and I add another class because I want to create, in this section I want to create the sizes. You can select the sizes, so I give it another class of sizes, and inside this one what I want to create is I want to create another div. And this could be my column for the width, because I want to divide it into two columns. There's a row and I have two columns, one for width and another for the height. So this is my column, and this is the column for the width. Inside this column I have a label. The label is, I call it width, and inside this div of width I also have an input, and this input type will be number. Let's save, and there we go. And just like that I need another column for the height, so I just copy this one and paste it one more time. Okay, this is the column for height, and it has a class of height also, and the input type is number as well for this one. Okay, this is enough. This is finished for our sizes. After the sizes we have, let's save it. After that we have this two checkbox, so I make another div. I call it row. This is also another row, but I give it another class of checkboxes because there will be two checkbox. The first one is for the ratio and the other one is for the quality, so I make a div. I call it quality. Also add the column class to this because this is a column, and inside this one I make an input, and the type will be checkbox. I give it an ID of quality, and also I'm going to give it a label, and this label will be for quality, and I say reduce quality. Okay, I'm gonna copy this one and paste it one more time, and this time this is for the ratio. Okay, I call it ratio, and this also a checkbox, and the ID is ratio. Okay, this is wrong, ratio, and I'm gonna say reduce, no, I can say lock aspect ratio. Okay, the ID is, I want this one to be checked, so I put a check to this one. This is a div for the column for quality, and this is another div for another column for the ratio, and this, the checkbox of this one is checked. Okay, I have to change this label for, this is for ratio. I want this one to be before this one, so let's cat it and put it before that one. The first should be the ratio and the other after that the quality. Let's save it, and there we go, we have these two check boxes. And after that I have a button. So let's make a button, and this will be download image. Let's give a class to my button. I call it download button, and let's save, and we have our button. And at the top I'm going to link my style .css, so I link the style.css, and I'm also going to include a script, and the source will be script.js. These will be two files which we create in a moment, the style.css for the style and script.js for the functionality. Our structure is finished. Now let's create a file, style.css. This section of video is completely for the design of this one, so we use a lot of CSS. If you want to escape this part, you can escape it and go to the JS part. Okay, we are on the style.css. The first thing you have to do is to import the Google font library. So I imported the Google font library and also put the margin padding to 0 and box sizing to border box, and I say the font family. Okay, after that I want to use a color for everything. In CSS you can create a variable in CSS, not in SAS, in CSS, and that's really easy. You just create this root, and inside this root, like this, call your variable name. I call it my color, and put your color code, and this is the color I want to use. Anytime I want to use this color, I just type my color inside a variable. That's really easy and can save a lot of time. So I make the body. Let's give some style to the body. I want to display everything to the flex box. I want to align the items to the center. I want to justify the content to the center and give it a min height of 100 VH to put everything at the center. And now I want to use the background, and very easily I can call a variable, and inside this variable I call my variable name. Let's save, and there we go. Okay, after that I want to select my wrapper. So I want to select my wrapper, and I want to give it a width. I give it a width of 450 pixel. Let's give it a height 288 pixel. I also want to give it a padding, and I give it a white background color, and I want to give it a border radius of 9 pixel, and lastly I want to give it a transition because it will change whenever I select a file. So this change will be applied to the height of this thing. So I select that height, and I give it a duration of 0.2 second. Let's save, and there we go. The wrapper is completed. But there's one more thing, because our wrapper have two state, active and inactive. So I have to create an active class for this wrapper. I select my wrapper without any space, create say active, and this one, the height will be changed whenever it is active, so the height will be 537 pixels. So whenever it's active, this height will increase. Now I want to select my wrapper, but this time on the, let's see what we got. We have the upload box. From the wrapper I want to select the upload box, and let's give it some design. First I want to give it a height of 225 pixel. I want to display everything in a flex box. I want to change the cursor to pointer. I also want to justify the content to the center, and I want to change the flex direction to column. So I select flex direction to column, and let's give it a border radius, and it will be 5 pixel. And after that I give it a border 2 pixel dashed, and I give it a color AF and that color. And there we go, we have a nice, don't look at these other things because we didn't apply any design for them. We have this wrapper, and inside this one this upload box. Okay, after that let's select the wrapper on active state when wrapper is active. From that moment I want to select this upload box. Okay, when it's active, what I want to remove the border, so I set the border to none. After that I want to select my upload box. From the upload box I want to select this paragraph, so I say P, and what I want to change this font to 1.06 rem, and also I wanted to give it a top margin of 20 pixel. And after that I have to put a condition for an active state for this one also. How I can do that? I want to select my wrapper on active. On that moment I want to select my upload box. From upload box I want to select my paragraph, and what I want to hide it, so I put the display to none. After that what I want to select my wrapper on active state, and after that I want to select my upload box, and after that I want to select this image. And what I want to do with the image is to set it as width to 100%, because that's the moment when I select an image. Okay, I want to change its height to 100%. I want to fit the object to cover, not content but cover, and I also want to give it a border radius of 5 pixel. It happens when it's on active state. Okay, whenever it is active, it's not active at the moment. Okay, after that we have this content. We have the content. Okay, let's refresh before think that why this logo is too big. Let's check. Let me check what's wrong. Inside the wrapper on the upload box I justify the content center. Oh yeah, I have to align the items also, so I align item with the center. Let's save, and there we go. Okay, we come back to our when our wrapper is active. On the upload box image we set the design for that one. After that I wanna select the wrapper, and from the wrapper I wanna select the content, these things. Okay, the content, and this one, the content. Okay, the content. What I want to do for the content, I want to change the opacity to 0. If I change it, you see, can't see that anymore, but for now I set it to 1. After finishing the code I set it to 0, because that's the job of our JavaScript, to set it back to 1. Okay, I wanna put a comment here. We change it again. This one will be our comment. Okay, opacity to 1. Okay, after that I want to give it a margin at the top 28 pixel, and I also want to give it a pointer event. I want to remove the pointer event, so I set it to none. Okay, That's good. Now I want to select this content whenever our wrapper is on active state, and what I want is to change the opacity to 1. This is when I change the opacity. We add when we add the active class to the wrapper, and we also change the pointer event to auto. As you can see, we can't select anything or do whatever, but when it's auto we can do those things. Okay, and what more I want to do is to give it a animation, so it's transition on its opacity, because we changed that opacity, and I set 0.5 second duration to time, and this will be ease. After that I want to select this row from content. I want to select the row, and I want to display everything in flex. I want to change it to justify content, space between. Let's save, and there we go. We have 2 columns, 2 rows. We have them in a row. Okay, but I want to divide them into 2. Okay, 1 row into 2. How you can do that? It's very easy. I select my content, I select the row, and from the row I select the column. Okay, this column, this one, we select it. And how I can divide it? If I divide this into 2, I choose the weight, and for this I use a calculator, the calc. I want to select everything, so 100% of everything. I want to divide it into 2. Make sure to add a space between them, okay, or it doesn't work if we don't do this. I want to select everything and divide it into 2, and also minus some pixel from it, so minus 15 pixel. And let's save, and now we have them. Okay, the width. Okay, it's done. Now from this row I want to select this column, and from column I want to select this label. Just change its font size to 1.06 rem. And after that, what I want to do, just that, nothing else. I want to select the what we got, the sizes. Okay, the sizes. I want to select the sizes, and what I want to do is from the sizes I want to select this column, and from the column I want to select this input. Okay, I want to select this inputs, the first input. Okay, both of these inputs, because both of them are for sizing. And what I want to do is to give it a weight of 100%, and also wanna give them a height of 49 pixel. They are a little big now. Okay, after that I want to remove this outline, so I set the outline to none. I want to give the margin to at the top, it will be 7 pixel. I want to give them a padding 0 and 15 pixel. I want to change this font size to 1.06 rem. I want to change the border radius to 4 pixel, and I want to change its border to 1 pixel, solid, and this color. Okay, everything looks good. I want to select this input from the size, select column, from column the input, but when it is on focus, what I want to do, I want to change this padding 0, 14 pixel, and I want to change its border to pixel, solid, and I use my color, and there we go. You can use click them because I set the pointer event to none. If I remove that one, and now you can see how they look. Okay, after that I want to select the content, and from the content I want to select this checkbox. So let's see what's the class name for that one. Checkboxes. But before that, let's see why these labels didn't change. Let me see. No, yeah, they are changed. Okay, that's the size for that one. Okay, the checkbox. What I want for the checkbox, first let's give him a margin at the top, 20 pixel. After that one I want to select the checkbox itself, the checkboxes, and from that one I want to select the columns, and I want to display everything into flex and align the items at the center. And now they are at the center. Okay, and after that I want to select the checkbox, and I want to select the column, and from color I want to select the input because both of them are input. Okay, I want to change its width 7 pixel and height the same 7 pixel. I want to give it a margin right 9 pixel. Let's give it a color, a scent color. It could be the color from my variable. You see, variables are really powerful, make life much easier. Now I want to select my download button, this download button, and let's give it a weight of 100%, and I give it a color of white. I want to remove its outline, so I set it to none. I remove its border. I want to change the cursor to pointer, and let's change the font size, and border radius 5 pixel, padding 10 pixel and 0, margin 0 and 10 pixel. Let's give it a background color. I used it from my variable. Okay, let's change the text to uppercase. Text transform and uppercase, and now it's uppercase. I want to add a transition also for everything, and it will last 0.3 seconds is, and there we go. After that, let's make the hover for this one. Okay, and I just want to change its background, and I want to add this background color, maybe 366, something close to that color. Be say the E9. Okay, I can't do it because I put a pointer event to none. Okay, that's it. If it doesn't look nice, that's because the weight of this one will increase whenever we select the image, and this will be height for now. Okay, let's make it mobile responsive. At media max weight 7 pixel. What will happen is I select my wrapper. I want to change its weight to 320 pixel and height a little bit bigger. Also want to select my content, and from content I want to select my row, and from row I want to select my column, and This is where it is, where I divided my, let's select that calculation, and this time I want to make it 110 percentage. Okay, and let's go back to my comment, and here I change the opacity back to 0 so you can't see anything right now, and nothing works. You can click anything, nothing really works. That's because this is all without functionality. Okay, now let's give it functionality. This was a section for designing. Now this is time to create the functionality for this application. I create a file, I call it script.js. Make sure you have already linked this script.js inside your index.html. I go to my script.js. The first thing we're gonna do is to select the elements. I want to select everything, okay? First off, I want to create a const. I call it upload box. I want to select my upload box. I use document.query selector, and inside this one I want to select my upload box, this upload box with the class. Because that's a class, I add a dot and the name of that class, upload box. And just like that I will select everything. I select the image, input, weight, height, ratio, quality, and download button. After that I make another variable. I call it org image ratio. This is an empty variable. After that it is time to create the functions, but the first thing we have to create is to make the functionality to select the file. So whenever I click on my upload box, this upload box, I wanna select something. So I add an event listener. Of click, and this one will run a function, another function, which is file input. This file input is my file with my input, and I click that one. Whenever I click the upload box, I click the file input. Let's save and see if it works. Okay, it doesn't work because there's nothing to do at the moment if I select the file. Okay, we have to create the functionality for the file and file selection. How you can do that? It's very easy. We create a const. I call it load file, and this is equal to a function, another function, which has a parameter of e or event. Inside this application, first I want to get the first selected file. So I make a const. I call it file. This is equal to e, which is the event target dot files, and this file is an array, so I select the first array. Okay, and after that what I want to do is to check if we select something or we didn't. If file is empty, I want to return. Okay, whenever we select a file, if we didn't, it has to return. It doesn't select because we didn't give any event for our file input. How you can do that? It's very easy. I select my file input, this file input, which is the input, and I want to add an event listener to this one. Whenever something is changed, I want to run this load file function, and now this function will run. Okay, this function will run. Okay, whenever they change, the function will run. there's no problem and everything looks good to me. Okay, let's continue creating this function. Okay, first we check. After that, what I wanna pass the selected file to a URL for the preview of that image. Okay, how we can do that? There I selected the preview image, which is the image. I can call it preview image dot src for the source, which is equal to URL dot create object URL, and which has a parameter of this file. And just like that, we pass the selected file to create a URL from that one. And after that, I want to select this preview image, and now I want to add a listener to this one, add an event listener, and this add event listener will run on load. When it's load, I want to run an arrow function. What this function does, this function will run once the image is loaded. Okay, what I want to select the width input, the value. I want to put the image width to the input, that width input. I want to put the width of this image to the input box, which is the width input box. Okay, you get the point. I can do that. I want to select my preview image, and there's something inside here which was, I think, natural natural width. Just like that, we can get the width of an image. After that, I want to select my height input, and I want to change this value to, I select my image and natural height. Now I put the width and height of my image inside those inputs. Once I did that, I want to get the image ratio. How you can do that? I select my variable image ratio, and this is equal to my preview image dot natural width. I want to select it as width, and I have to divide this one to my image, and this time natural height. So width divide to height is the ratio. Very easy, not something hard. And after that, I want to use my document query selector. I want to select my wrapper, and onto the wrapper I want to add that active class. How you can do that? I see class list dot add this active. By using this, I add an active class to my wrapper. Okay, we can select. At this time I have to be able to select an image, but I can't. And the problem is, I want to run the script before the body, and just like putting the script like this, it will run it after the body, but I want to do it before the body. You have to add this differ, and now the script will run before the body. Even if you put it before the body, it doesn't work if you don't put this differ. Now it should work, and there we go. Now it works. I can select the image. You see, I select the image, and the active class is added, and I got the image width and height, and those values are now available in the input boxes. Let's select another image, and there we go. We have the values, and we also have the ratio, and we put it on the image ratio. Okay, that's done. After that, I want to create an event listener whenever I change the size of this image. I can do that. I select my width, and I add an event listener to that one. Add event listener, and this event listener will run whenever the keys up or we change it, we type another value. Okay, and this one will run a function, an arrow function, and what this function does, First we have to get the height according to the ratio of the checkbox state. Okay, if the checkbox lock aspect ratio is on, we shouldn't be able to change them like custom. How you can do that? It's very easy. We make a variable, I call it const, and this is equal to height. Height is equal to, I wanna check if the input ratio is checked or not. So I select my ratio input, which I already selected that here, the ratio input, and I want to say checked. If it is checked, I add this question mark. This is a kind of shorter way of using if. If this is checked, I want to change the width input value divided by OG image ratio. And if not, I want to select the height input and just take the normal value. So easy, right? This is the shorter way of using an if function. If it is checked, select the weight value and divide it by the image ratio. If it's not checked, just get the high input value itself. Okay, and after that I want to select my height input, and I want to select its value, and the value of this one is equal to math floor, where it is, math floor. I want a math floor of the height, because this height can have decimal points. I have to remove that one. That's why I use math floor for this one. Let's see. Now I can change this one. You see, the height change according to this one. If I put 100, it is 72. But if I remove this one, now you can change the both values. And if I change this one, it doesn't change. Okay, I want to do the same thing for the height. So I select my height input, which is again the height input is equal to, from the height I select its input, and now I want to add an event listener to this one, and this event listener will run on key up, and what it does, it run an arrow function, and the run of arrow function will get the weight according to the ratio of checkbox state. Again we get a const, but this time this is called width, and the weight is equal to, I want to check if the ratio input is checked or not, just like before. The ratio input checked. If it is checked, we add a question mark. What I want to select my height input, select it as value. This time I want to divide this one, because this is the height. I want to divide that one to the image ratio. Okay, if that's not checked, I want to select the weight input and get its value. Okay, let's see. Once again, check if everything is okay. I select my height input and key up, weight, ratio input is if it is checked. I want to select my height input, value of this one times my image ratio. If not, yeah. And once again, it's gonna have the decimal points, so I have to remove that one. So I select my width input value. This is equal to math floor width. It also put the value of this weight to my weight input to here. Let's save. Now select an image. Now if I change the height, the weight should change, and yeah, it changes. If I remove the aspect ratio, now you can do it randomly, it doesn't change. Okay, too much talking. After this one, this is the main goal. We want to create that resize and download functionality. So I make a const, I call it resize and download, and this is an arrow function. Okay, what this function does, but before that I want to add this function to a event listener. I call it download button and add an event listener. Whenever this download button is clicked, what I want to run this resize and download function. Okay, how we can do that inside this function? What I want, first we have to create a canvas, because those image resize change happen inside a canvas. The video became really long, but we have to explain every line. So I create a variable, I call it canvas. This is equal to document.create element. We have to create a element, I call it canvas. Also make another element, I call it a. This is document.create element, and I call this one a. After this one I make a variable, I call it ctx. I select my canvas and I want to put the context, get context, this will be 2D. Okay, after this one what I want to do, I want to check if quality checkbox is checked. We want to pass 0.5 to quality, otherwise we pass 1. 1 is 100% quality and 0.5 is 50% of total quality. So I make a const, I call it image quality, and this one is equal to quality input, which is again we selected quality input from the quality input, this reduce quality. Okay, wanna select that one, and what I want to do is to see if this is checked or not. So I say checked. If this one is checked, I want to put the value of 0.5. Otherwise, if it's not checked, 1 is the value. Okay, that's how we change the quality. Okay, after that I want to set the canvas height and weight according to the input values. How you can do that? I select my canvas weight. The weight of this canvas is equal to weight input value. So easy, right? And canvas height is equal to height input dot value. That's really easy. And after that I want to draw the that user selected image into the canvas. I want to draw that image to the canvas. How you can do this? Use that ctx and I say draw image, this draw image function, and it's very easy. Inside this draw image function, first is the image name, which is preview image, and after that is the canvas image source, and this starts from 0. No, this is the dx number and dy number, where it starts from. The first one is the x value and the other one is the y value, because this is an image and I want to start everything from beginning, so both of them are 0. And after that we want to put the image width and height to this canvas. How we can do that? We already put the width and height value inside the canvas width and height. We just have to write them again here. Canvas dot width comma canvas dot height. That's how we can draw a canvas regarding to the width and height we set here. Once we did that, we want to pass the canvas data URL as a href value of the element. Okay, a element. It means we want to hi again, my friends. Sorry, at the middle of recording, the electricity gone. Welcome to Afghanistan. Let's continue. We got the image height and weight, and we applied those weight and height to our canvas, and we draw our canvas depend on those weight and height. After this I want to pass the canvas data to URL. Like you, for example, you want to click a button, use href for its link, right? That's how we create that link. How you can do that is very easy. I say a.href equal to the canvas, and I use the function, it's called to data URL, yes, this one. Inside this function, first we have to tell the function what is the type of our object. In this case it's image, and image, and let's say image JPEG, but I think I have to put it inside like this, yeah, and comma. After this I have to the quality, which we already made, where it is the image quality, that variable image quality, and that's it. It will create a URL from our image, this function canvas.toDataURL. Okay, once we did that, we have to pass the current this one to the download button. How we can do that? I say again a dot download, and this a download what it does, this is equal to, I want to pass the current time as a download value. Okay, we need a kind of random value. For that I use the current time. I use current time. How you can do that? We create a new date, and with this I get the get time, where it is get time, and this way we get the time from the date. Okay, and I pass this one to the download, and after that I use again the a tag and click. Whenever it is clicked, what it does, the element file will be download. So it's like confusing, but it's really easy. First we created our canvas and we draw our canvas. After that we create a tag to create a URL of this image. Once we create that one, we use the time to create the download value, and we just click on that one to download it. This a click means like you are clicking the button. In this case it do this automatically if you use this click function. Like here we use click. Let's save it, and now it should work. Let's select an image, for example this one. This is a really big image. Okay, I want to change it the size to something really small, like 600 pixel. You see it changed depend on the weight, but if I remove this one, now I can change it custom, but I want to keep the ratio. It keeps it. I want to reduce the quality also. Let's download the image and let's open it, and there we go. It's now 23.7 kilobyte, and dimension is just as what we set. Our application is finished. Once again, let me explain the code for you guys so you guys understand everything much better. First, in the index.html file we included our style and script. Make sure to use defer to run the script before the body. Inside the body we created a wrapper. Inside the wrapper we created an upload box with an input, an image, and also a paragraph. After that we have the content. Inside the content we have the width, which is an input. We have the height, which is also an input. After that we have the checkboxes. The first checkbox is for the ratio, and the other checkbox is for the quality. And at the end of the code we have download button. We use to style everything, and after that on our script.js we select everything by using query selector and put them inside variables. And we created a new variable called image ratio, and we use 3 event listener, one for download button, which will run on click and run this resize download function. Another is for the file input, which is the file input itself, and it will run on change, and it runs the load file. And after that we have this upload box. Whenever we click on upload box, what it does, when we click it, it clicks the file input. It's like you're clicking something else. Okay, the function this is the load function, which has a parameter of event, which is that image itself. And first we create a variable called file, and we store the first element of the file. If we didn't select anything, it will return. And after that we create a URL from this image to preview that one, and if this is loaded, we run this function, this event listener. Inside this event listener we run this function. We set the width of height to the image width of height. We put those values inside this width and height, which are the input boxes, and we set these values, the image input height and width, to the value of those things. Then we create this ratio by dividing the image width to image height. We also add the active class to our wrapper. After that we have two event listener, one for height and another one for width and another for the height, which runs on key app, and it will check if the checkbox is checked. We get the value like this, if not the default value, and we use a math floor and set the value to our high input or width input. After that, this is a very important function which resize our image. What we did, we created a canvas. We check if the quality button is checked or not. After that we set the canvas width and height depend on the values of width input and height input. After that we draw that canvas, and we created a kind of link, and click that link to download the new image. And that's it. That's all to create this awesome image resizer application. Now we can resize any kind of image to any size you want. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Download. Now we have a bigger size image. We can make it smaller, whatever you want. I hope you guys learned something by watching this tutorial. I know this tutorial was really long, but I have to make it long to explain every line of code for you guys. If you have any question, let me know in the comment below. And if you like this video, make sure to press that like, subscribe button, and also press the bell icon. Have a great time.